The web is no longer just about the present. As we share messages, photos, and updates, we're building a data trail about our lives and histories online. We can now tell stories not just about what is happening today, but where we've been, what we've shared, and what might happen in the future.
The skills necessary to be an effective communicator today are different than in the past. Today, literacy is not only about reading and writing, which are necessary, but also about understanding visual communication. Today, we need a higher degree of visual literacy and an understanding of the great power that imagery has for conveying important messages.
Gavunga writes of the importance that education providers, particularly those in higher education sector, most directly responsible for preparing students for employment after graduation, help students make a greater contribution to commerce and to civil life in the digital economy of the 21st century. As an example of fulfilling this goal, this paper describes a series of exercises assigned in managerial communication classes to raise awareness of the value of using a variety of multimedia tools available to students to answer the question at the heart of networking and job interviews. Tell me about yourself. It uses data students originate using their social capital as a starting point for 6 exercises that show them how to promote their talents for job and internship opportunities by using a variety of visual, networking, and social media tools that connect with different audiences for different purposes. We have used these exercises in over 40 sections over the past 6 years in a class focused exclusively on career communication and required of all business students at our university. Our classes meet twice a week for 75 minutes each, and we schedule the exercises over the first 6 weeks of an 11-week class. We view them as appropriate for both part-time and full-time undergraduate students, as well as for non-credit career development workshops. Students enjoy these exercises as they rely on their ability to use their creativity, digital media, and networking skills on behalf of a personal goal, finding a co-op, internship, or full-time jobs. And students demonstrate initiative and self-direction skills as they learn and execute a variety of personal brand-building actions.
As a pre-reading assignment for the first day, we assigned 3 online readings about branding and networking in the age of social media, with an emphasis on using the resources of LinkedIn. The articles are WikiHow, Build Your Personal Brand, 5 Reasons Why Your Online Presence Will Replace Your Resume in 10 Years, and The Importance of Loose Ties. Students answer discussion board questions about each selection. The questions are, number 1, what have you learned from reading WikiHow, Build Your Personal Brand, about how to promote yourself effectively for internship and full-time jobs you are seeking? Number 2, with what conclusions do you agree or disagree in 5 reasons why your online presence will replace your resume in 10 years? Support each of your claims with at least 1 reason. Number 3, analyze the argument Brown makes about the importance of weak ties to networking and job hunting success. We also ask students, as a basis for subsequent in-class assignments and discussions, to read and comment on the answers of at least 2 other students prior to attending the initial class.
Our goal in the first day of class is to demonstrate to students that they can adapt communication strategies that are already using to their career objectives. We divide the session into 3 steps. We begin the class by having students break into small groups to initially comment on a slide of the 3 quotations that start this article. We then ask for feedback about how the students use social media tools in their own lives. Students tell stories of using Skype, Twitter, Evernote, PowerPoint, and other social media tools to communicate about group projects as well as in-class and internship presentations. As a second step, we ask students to fill in the attached chart as a way of analyzing how they use different tools for different purposes and for different audiences. This exercise allows us to briefly explain media richness theory and to show students that they already have some insight into the issues of purpose, audience, message, length, design, and channel choice in their current social media contributions. After filling out charts, students are asked which of the networks on their list would be most appropriate for career communication, along with the how and why. As a third step, we encourage further discussion of the assigned articles with a focus on how the media channels students are currently using might be used to further student career objectives. Importantly, we analyzed the strengths of weak ties, which cites evidence that people were more than 3 times as likely to find a job through a networking contact than through traditional means, and that loose ties were more productive in the job search than strong ties. Then we point out that existing student networks are typically with strong ties, consisting of relationships with people they perceive to be like themselves and also with whom they interact on a consistent basis. We invite the class to discuss the importance of networking beyond the echo chamber of close relationships to the loose ties who may be instrumental in helping them identify job and internship opportunities. As homework, we ask students to read a chart covering Mayer's 10 principles of multimedia design and to be prepared to talk about them in their small groups. At the end of class, we let students know that in the second class period, we will ask them to introduce themselves using a variation on the game Pictionary.
Rather than a standard bibliographical sketch where each student talks about the same topics, such as major, year in school, and career aspirations, we ask students to create a pictorial biography on a chart pad and then share the meaning of each symbol with the class in an oral presentation. We explain that research shows combining very brief text with visual images aids the sense-making process through activating both verbal and visual cognitive process simultaneously. We point out that this exercise has 2 purposes: as an introduction to developing a brand or a set of unique selling points as part of their career positioning, and as a tool for networking for discovering conversation topics with others. In this case, we define our audiences as classmates and ask students to represent themselves with facts and events that have defined their lives, being careful to minimize negative or embarrassing information while highlighting objective and positive information. Typically, we see students draw pictures of cities or countries to indicate the various places they have lived or visited, titles of jobs they have held at companies for which they have worked, military symbols to highlight the role that their service has played in their lives, drawings of family members and pets, religious symbols to indicate faith commitments, as well as images of game competitions such as chess, bridge, or trivia, food preferences, athletic pursuits, volunteer activities, honors and awards, and artistic, musical, cooking, fashion, mechanical, software, social media, foreign language, and other specific talents. Students enjoy hearing these presentations and during break are encouraged to connect with classmates based on mutual interests and experiences, something that allows students from diverse backgrounds to find areas of mutuality with fellow undergraduates. We also ask students by the next class period to select 1 or 2 accountability partners with whom they will work on the remaining 5 branding projects. After introductions, small groups discuss Mayer's multimedia guides as preparation for the next 4 exercises, which use a mix of video, photos, graphics, and text. We briefly summarize the storytelling principles to the Heath brothers, highlighting and making things stick: simple, unexpected, concrete, credible, emotional stories as good criteria by which to evaluate their own and their partner's efforts.
During the second week of class, we introduced students to a relatively new type of message, the networking brief, a 1-page document sent to individuals who might network on the applicant's behalf. We asked students to create a 1-page document that creates a branding statement, highlighted with a series of headings that indicate to contacts what the candidate has to offer. A presentation of the applicant's career history, including a list of organizations for which the applicant has worked, their highest titles, and significant accomplishments, focusing on how they have added value to these organizations, and a list of organizations and job titles of interest that describe the applicant's desired career path. We suggest using the networking brief as part of a job search with contacts who are not recruiters, something that is best emailed prior to a telephone or face-to-face networking meeting. This document allows contacts to focus their thoughts on who they might know to contact at a particular company or function. We stress that third-party recommendations, especially from a current employee of a target company, are powerful ways to move to the front of an applicant list. We include examples of networking briefs on Canvas and Flickr on which students can model their networking briefs, highlighting the multiplier effect, how a few contacts can turn into hundreds through networking. We stress the importance of encouraging students to send the brief to others in their networks and encourage them to send it within their networks, thus making loose ties aware of a student's credentials, career goals, and graphic design abilities. We also encourage students to link to their preferred companies' LinkedIn sites as a way of becoming acquainted with the most recent stories of each, so they can cite them should they hear from recruiters who have contacted them after seeing their networking briefs.
During the third week of class, we introduced the video resume assignment, in which we ask students to create a video that they will upload to LinkedIn, Facebook, and other sites. We indicate this assignment will have the additional value of preparing them to answer the "tell me about yourself" question in one-on-one networking and job interviews. We encourage them to consider highlighting their career goals, major and minors, work and volunteer history, special talents such as social media or mechanical skills, or deep insight into an industry, as well as team and individual goal achievement and expectations for future achievements. We request that they dress as professionally as they would for a formal interview. As preparation, we ask them to view 5 tips on creating a video resume, which uses text and video examples to highlight the do's and don'ts of video resume productions. We also provide student examples from past classes saved on Canvas to show what efforts have met our highest standards. For this assignment, students first submit a script limited to 400 words, which they share with a class partner who also films their video resume rehearsals. We encourage students to use a teleprompter and to record their videos in an on-campus studio to provide a quiet and professional background on the video, to get feedback on delivery, content, and audience, and to record their pitch as many times as necessary to create the best impression. Some, as our example does, use soft background music and character generation to showcase film editing skills as well. Once as faculty, we agree the submitted video represents a professional effort, we ask students to upload a link, preferably on YouTube with closed captioning, to it on their LinkedIn account, and to reference their LinkedIn URL on other branding items, such as their resume, business card, Facebook accounts, and SlideShare presentations. We warn students not to submit the video resume to an employer as part of a job application, as some companies do not want to view them in this context for legal reasons.
During the third week of class, typically 1 to 2 weeks before the college's job fair, we ask students to develop a business card that reflects their brand. We argue that business cards serve as inexpensive and valuable aid because they often remain in a wallet or card caddy and are not as easily misplaced as a resume or letter. We stress that they are valuable to take advantage of unexpected networking opportunities, and if students provide one while another job applicant do not, they may appear to recruiters to be more prepared and professional. We suggest that students go to vistaprint.com or a similar site using templates to create a business card that promotes their brand, both visually and in text. We highlight the importance of the design of the card as critical to winning the first moment of truth in establishing a theme. So, for example, a student pursuing a career in childcare designed a card featuring a series of different colors of small hands. An accounting student created a card with 1099 tax form as the key visual. A finance major designed a card tinted green with a drawing of a $sign to indicate her interest in a career as a financial consultant. And an IT major used a picture of a computer screen as his attention getter. We suggest students provide their name, college, major, LinkedIn and email addresses, and personal cell phone number on the card. Some have used inspirational quotation to show their commitment to positive ideals, and others have put a CZ code on the back so a potential employer could scan immediately into their LinkedIn accounts. Another alternative has been to use the front of the card for personal information and the back for a mini resume, highlighting degrees, work experience, key personal qualities, and achievements.
During the fourth week of class, we show students that LinkedIn has an application that allows a link to slideshare.com. We ask them to create 2 to 3 PowerPoint slides with the caveat that a picture is worth 1,000 words, that have brief text and photographs incorporated into them to create a visual resume that shows aspects of their personality as they relate to a career choice. We point out that pictorial representations may suggest qualities not apparent on a resume that are important to an employer, which include competitive, compassionate, empathetic, team player, creative, goal achiever, bilingual, mechanical, entrepreneurial, loyal, and disciplined, and we encourage students to use one of these or similar term above each visual. For example, some students have highlighted their creativity and cultural appreciation by picturing their talents in fashion design, painting, videography, playing an instrument, singing, or dancing. Others showed through volunteering that they cared about others and were team players. Some have demonstrated goal achievement by picturing evidence of honors such as National Honor Society, Eagle Scout, DECA, 4-H, Model United Nations Award, or mastery of software and statistical programs, and by highlighting certifications such as Six Sigma Black Belt. Others have highlighted knowledge of foreign languages and cultures to demonstrate an ability to navigate globally. Photos of participation in varsity or recreational sports have demonstrated a competitive spirit, solid teamwork, and a commitment to healthy living. Highlighting college and professional team favorites has suggested enthusiasm and loyalty, and photos of mechanical, repairing a car, construction, putting up drywall, or landscaping abilities, building a fire pit, can promote talents important to businesses employing these skills. On the technical side, we stress the importance of having a strong contrast of text and background colors so words can be easily read and provide examples on Canvas of the best efforts of previous students. Prior to the subsequent class, we asked students to read and comment on the online article, 6 New LinkedIn Job Search Strategies, and as follow-up, we also asked them to follow its advice of identifying 5 people they could ask to write recommendations to post to their LinkedIn profile.
Our 6th branding assignment starts with a discussion of the assigned article and its emphasis on posting recommendations on a LinkedIn account. This assignment, the only one of the 6 without a visual design element, is for students to identify a minimum of 5 contacts from whom they could secure outstanding references to post on their LinkedIn accounts. And have students consider, what talents would you want these references to promote about your brand? We indicate that the value of references as contrasted to endorsements is that they appear to be relatively unbiased, independent verifications of student branding claims. Viewers see them as human-to-human connections, more valuable than a brief list of references at the end of a resume. We ask the students to consider what employers, managers, customers, and leaders of service and political organizations would potentially write or videotape, as these are people who can testify to their success in a work environment. We also suggest they consider requesting recommendations from coaches, relatives, alumni, friends, neighbors, professional colleagues, teachers, and church and social club members, as they might provide evidence of positive personal qualities and skills. We encourage students to make these requests through email, phone calls, face-to-face interactions, and the LinkedIn request tools, and to suggest content for a 1 to 2 paragraph personal reference, and if they are confident enough in the relationship, to ask for permission to edit it for length, content, grammar, spelling, and diction, prior to asking the reference to post it. We also point out students can remove any recommendation that they believe does not advance their career objectives. As additional advice, we encourage students to consistently review their LinkedIn profiles, to update them, and to improve them.
These exercises prove to be both popular and valuable because they use students' experiences with social media to lay the groundwork for highlighting the principles of networking through visual design and social media drive branding success. They relate directly to student career aspirations, helping them see the significance of promoting their unique brand of talents, accomplishments, and qualities in a variety of media as a foundation skill for gaining co-ops, internships, and full-time work, and as a career-building skill to be employed throughout a lifetime. And these exercises help highlight the importance of seeing oneself through the eyes of potential employers, a key to tailoring career information to specific jobs. Specifically, they help students define their audiences, improve their storytelling abilities, show their talents using visual design tools, Focus on the meeting the audience's needs and sharing their ideals and passions to make emotional as well as rational connections with their target audiences. Of particular importance, these exercises help students understand the social construction of identity, how to employ a variety of narrative forms to promote oneself in a variety of ways to a variety of audiences. Students also expressed excitement about sharing their stories in multimedia formats, commenting that these tools are much more high-touch than career materials composed solely of words. An additional benefit is that students get to meet and network with each other during the first week of class and to gain the benefit of both peer and faculty feedback on the career branding tools they employ during the semester. In short, these exercises sensitize students to the importance of implementing a branding plan that demonstrates their ability to use a variety of contemporary multimedia resources and to answer the question, tell me about yourself.